Now, many of you will know that ONVO L60 was launched just last week on Thursday, and there's been so many questions that are surfacing if whether Nio will still perform better in terms of sales since ONVO has been successfully launched, and it can be, or there are some people that are comparing it against the ES6. The Nio CEO was on an interview with China Business Network, and he addressed that question, and he addressed it so perfectly to say that Lexus did not steal customers from Toyota, and therefore even ONVO will not steal customers from Nio. He said if your budget is well off, or it's a good budget, you need to consider buying a Nio car, because ONVO, it's sort of like a mass market brand, and therefore if you are having budget constraints, you can go for ONVO L60. Yes, there are some of the features which he said they are more advanced than Nio that you find on ONVO, but he said this is because ONVO is a new car, whereas the current existing Nio models are older than the current ONVO L60. It is only for that reason, but obviously the models that we are going to see or get to see like going forward are going to, of course, be ahead of ONVO in many ways. This is what the CEO was, in a nutshell, was saying. He even went further and said Nio products like the ET5 and EC6 focus more on personalized market, whilst the ONVO L60 focus more on mainstream family market. So though there might be some of the features which are different, Nio will focus more on the high-end market, and ONVO will be for your mass market brand. So there are certain things that you are going to find on Nio and you won't find on ONVO. I mean, as it stands, we've got things like your long range batteries. You will know that ONVO currently has 2 batteries being offered, and the standard battery pack is 60 kilowatts with a long range battery pack which is 85 kilowatts, and on Nio we've got 75 kilowatts as standard battery pack. Then long range we've got 100 kilowatts and 150 kilowatts. We've got that. So the 150 kilowatts is not available onto the ONVO cars, and therefore this is one of the things that I think Nio will use to separate Nio from ONVO. And all the after sales services, remember, there are after sales services that the Nio users get to enjoy, the fact that they're driving Nio cars, and ONVO won't get all of the packs or the full pack that the Nio users are getting. Yes, there will be some after service sales which both Nio and ONVO will share, but it is not all of them services that these two will share. Some of the after sales services will just remain with the Nio main brand, because that is for the high-end market. He emphasized this, that Nio is a high-end market, and if your pockets are allowing you, or if you are capable enough financially, he would suggest you go for a Nio car and not an ONVO car, which is something that just shows you where Nio is. I mean, the fact that he started by also comparing Lexus Toyota. Lexus sells over 200 units annually, and Toyota is still selling way more than Lexus, but Lexus is still having its own market share, or its own premium luxury market share, and flourishing there. And on the other hand, Toyota is also having its own market share and also flourishing, which is something that is it just has to show you that this thing can work. I mean, he indicated that for the ONVO brand, the L60 is the cheapest, or might be the cheapest brand that you will find onto this ONVO brand, right? And the models that comes after this might be a bit expensive, or are going to be at least a bit higher than this 206,000 RMB, which is the starting price of the ONVO L60 with a battery. So yeah, this is what we had, this is what the CEO told us today, and I just think that even personally, if you put ONVO, you put EC6 or ES6, I'm going for a Nio, because to me, Nio, it is the brand that I think I love. It's close to my heart. ONVO, I'm still getting to know to the brand, so if I have the money, I'm going for Nio. And but if I've got budget constraints, I'm definitely gonna go to buy the ONVO L60. This is just my thinking. I mean, it is for this reason that there are people that still buy Lexus when there's Toyota. They still go buy high-end premium brands when there are mass market brands that also guard some of the technology which those high-end market brands have. The fact that BMW, Mercedes will still be selling or doing well in terms of sales, EV makers or even brands like Nio will continue doing well. So we don't have to get worried that because of ONVO, Nio might not sell well in the future. I think even some financial institutions are starting to lower down the guidance or the growth that we might see on Nio in terms of sales they generate in 2025, which I still don't think that it will be the case. Neo's high-end premium market will still be there and will still continue doing very well because, I mean, tell me, if you have the money, would you go for ONVO or Nio? The first thing that comes to mind, of course, is Nio all the way, right? But of course, like I said, if your budget is limiting, then you will still go for the ONVO L60, or you can go buy the ONVO. ONVO is a second choice. Nio is the first choice. This is something that I think, or I have in my mind as I'm thinking and digesting what the Nio CEO is saying. So one of the things that we also read from coming from this interview, apparently the ONVO L60, it is sharing some production lines with some of the Nio models, right? The Nio CEO didn't specifically say which models are sharing the production line with the ONVO L60, but he did say that this is the current situation in some of the production lines. So what he's saying is that the production line can, let's say for instance, produce an 85 or 85 Touring, and then it can be quickly converted and produce the ONVO L60. This is what is currently happening onto the Nio factories, or onto the Nio production lines, some of the production lines, which is something that is pretty exciting, because if it does the case, then we can get ONVO to start also picking up in terms of sales. What Nio needs to make sure that they do is to continue ramping up the production so that they can also cater, or they can maintain the 20,000 on a month-to-month that they are getting onto Nio, and then also scale up in terms of their production capacity which they can produce for ONVO. And they've already told us the plan. We are looking forward to the plan, which is something that is just so incredible, so amazing, and we look forward to that. Otherwise, with all that, I just thought I'd just give you this quick update. Tell me what you think. Blue sky is coming. Those that are persevering will definitely be rewarded in the long term. I'm happy, I'm excited. That's all from me. Do your own due diligence, and God bless you all.